Trust wasn't just a word in our marriage, it was the air we breathed. For 8 years, Anna and I had built a life on it. I trusted her with my fears, my finances, and my heart. She was the steady hand on my back, the calm voice in my ear. I believed in her goodness, in her integrity, with the same certainty that I believed the sun would rise in the east. There was no room for doubt in the architecture of our love. That's why I didn't think twice when she asked if I could grab her phone from her purse and set a reminder for her mom's birthday. It was a mundane, domestic request on a perfectly ordinary Wednesday evening. We were cleaning up after dinner, the sound of our daughter, Chloe, playing in the living room a familiar, happy backdrop to our lives. Her phone was unlocked. I swiped up to open the calendar, and that's when the notification banner appeared at the top of the screen. It was a text message from a name I didn't recognize. David H. The preview was only a few words, but they were words that burned themselves into my memory with the searing finality of a branding iron. Last night was incredible. I can't stop thinking about your smile. The world went silent. The clatter of plates, the cartoon music from the living room, even the frantic drumming of my own heart, it all faded into a dull, distant hum. I stood frozen in the middle of our kitchen, staring at those 13 words. It had to be a mistake, a wrong number, a miscommunication. My mind scrambled for a rational explanation, for any life raft to cling to in the sudden, violent storm. I had to know. My thumb, trembling and slick with sweat, betrayed every principle of privacy I held dear. I tapped the notification. The message thread that opened up was a timeline of my own ignorance. It stretched back for months. It started innocuously enough banner about a shared project at her graphic design firm. David H. was a new client, apparently, but the tone shifted. The professional respect morphed into flirtatious compliments. The compliments turned into inside jokes. The jokes bled into late-night confessions of loneliness and being misunderstood. You just get me in a way, Liam. Doesn't anymore. One of her texts read, sent just a week prior. My name, on her screen, in that context, felt like a foreign object. He's a good man, she had written another time. He's just predictable. I feel like I'm living in grayscale with him sometimes. You bring the color back into my life. I scrolled, my breath catching in my throat, each message a fresh stab wound. They talked about meeting for coffee, then lunch, then drinks. They talked about my schedule, my late nights at the office, the opportunities when I would be out of town. They had built a secret world in the margins of my life, and then I saw the messages from the night before. I had been at a work dinner. She had told me she was having a quiet night, catching up on some freelance work. Her, I'm so nervous. He'll be home in a few hours. Him, don't be. It was worth it, every second. Her, it was more than worth it, but the guilt is eating me alive. Him, is it? Or is it the excitement? That was it, the final, undeniable proof. The air I had been breathing for 8 years was poison. The foundation of our life was a lie. I closed the phone and placed it face down on the counter. My hands were shaking so hard I had to clench them into fists. I walked into the living room. Anna was on the floor, building a tower of blocks with our daughter. She looked up at me and smiled, a warm, radiant smile that had once been the center of my universe. Now, it looked like a mask. Did you set the reminder? She asked, her voice bright and cheerful. I couldn't speak. The words were trapped behind a wall of grief and rage so immense it felt like it would choke me. I just stared at her, and my expression must have given me away. Her smile faltered. Concern flickered in her eyes. Liam, what is it? You look like you've seen a ghost. I have. I finally managed to say, my voice raspy. I think I just saw the ghost of our marriage. I didn't have to say another word. She knew. She saw the look in my eyes, and she knew she had been caught. She followed me back into the kitchen, her face pale. She saw her phone, face down on the counter, and a small, wounded sound escaped her lips. The ensuing confrontation was a blur. of tears and hollow excuses. She was sorry. She never meant for it to happen. It was a mistake. She loved me, but the words were meaningless. Trust, once shattered, cannot be glued back together. The cracks will always show. I listened to her talk, but all I could hear were the words from the text messages. A cruel echo chamber in my mind, predictable, grayscale. You get me in a way, he doesn't. The hardest part wasn't the lie itself. It was the fact that I never saw it coming. It was the thousands of ordinary moments, kisses goodbye, shared dinners, sleepy good nights that were now tainted, retroactively poisoned by her secret. It was the chilling realization that the person you know best in the world can be a complete and utter stranger. We are trying to navigate the wreckage now. Therapy. Painful conversations. Sleepless nights. She swears it's over with him, that she'd do anything to earn back my trust. But how do you trust again when the person who broke you is the same one promising to fix you? Every time her phone chimes now, my stomach clenches. Every time she works late, my mind spirals. The trust is gone. That one text, that one careless moment, didn't just change everything. It erased everything that came before it. All I have left is the after, and I have no idea how to live in it.